Alright my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk a little bit more about AMD's FSR and why I call it a bonus feature. AMD has open source software. Pretty much anything that AMD has, anybody can use. Like, if you want to use FSR on your Nvidia GPU, go ahead, do it. Doesn't matter. You can use it. If you want to use it on your Intel GPU, you can use AMD's FSR 3.1, their frame generation. You can even decouple their frame generation and use it with DLSS. So therefore, in my opinion, AMD features are pretty much free. And you don't pay for them when you buy an AMD GPU. You are not paying for those at all. You're buying your AMD GPU for more VRAM, for rasterized power, and literally the freaking hardware that you're buying. Like, that is the, in my opinion, that is the the deal that you're making with AMD when you buy that product. You're not buying that product for any of those other features, at least in my opinion, because why would you? You can literally buy an Nvidia GPU and use those. You can buy an Intel GPU and use those features. Why would you pay money to buy and use them on an AMD GPU? Now, somebody watched one of my videos the other day, and now they're making videos on their own YouTube channel. I invited them to come on this channel and discuss this with me and have a discussion, a friendly discussion. They have an AMD GPU, they have a Nvidia GPU. I have an Nvidia GPU, I have an AMD GPU. I would like to have that conversation. I think that would be really constructive, because as a content creator, my friends, as somebody that is sitting here trying to think of content every single day, and I've only had like one goal, is to, instead of like, trying to fight like this AMD versus Nvidia, this whole war or battle or anything, I just want people to like take AMD seriously. Ever since I bought the AMD GPU, I've had a lot of pushback over that card. People telling me it's trash, just all kinds of negative feedback toward that AMD card. But I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and I've actually, a lot of people have, come and joined the community and been part of this. And I was pretty negative toward Nvidia because I was mad. I mean, I bought a 3080 GPU, a 10 gigabyte, and like, I'm sitting here, just like anybody that is new to PC would be coming in, thinking, yeah, man, I got this 4K card, I got blah, 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 DLSS, and then I'm running into VRAM issues and stuff. Yeah, that made me mad. And how better to vent my frustration than to do it on my YouTube channel, so that other people can see and maybe not make the same mistake I made, or maybe, just come into PC gaming without these lofty ideas of unrealistic expectations that I came into it with. Because if you listen to all the hype and you listen to all the nonsense and all the garbage out there, you're gonna have some rude awakenings when you come to PC. PC gaming is phenomenal. It is incredible. There are things that you can simply do on PC that you can't do on a console, but there are, there are a lot. It seems like there's a lot of roadblocks strategically placed in your way in PC gaming to get you to either buy more, or like, kind of, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't want to say like suffer the consequences of not, mortgaging your house to get like the best equipment. But in some cases, like, if you don't, man, it's so convoluted sometimes. It really is. If you don't make certain strategic buys, or, matching up certain parts or something like that, or doing like a ton of research, you could like really gimp yourself in the short term or not necessarily always in the short run, because usually that stuff runs pretty good, especially if you're getting in at the very beginning of a generation. Usually you're going to get like, whoa, this is super good. But, you know, toward like the end of the generation, or toward the end of that GPU cycle, you might find yourself in a predicament where your card just isn't going to continue to boost the way that it did when you first got it. Because you got to understand, like, software changes, everything gets different. Anything that you've had prior, like your older games, any of that stuff, if it ran amazing when you got your card, that's still going to run amazing. It's the new stuff that you got to worry about. And me jumping into the PC space when I did, that was kind of a bad spot to jump in there. Now, obviously, if I would have went AMD with like a 6800 XT or something, I would have been fine. Like I would have had, you know, the VRAM, all of that stuff. I don't think I would have had the same issues that I had with Nvidia if I would have went AMD in the first place. It's just because AMD literally makes the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, so they knew, hey guys, we're gonna need to put some VRAM on these things, and they did. And Nvidia cut corners. And guys, I say that just because I want people to know that, like, look, man, if you buy Nvidia, these are things that you need to know. And I'm not trying to be mean. Like, Nvidia makes incredible products, but you want to do your due diligence a lot more with Nvidia than you really need to do with AMD. If you're looking at like a, you know, say like a $600, you know, GPU, like take the 4070 Super, it's $600, and then you've got the 7800 XT, which is pretty comparable in terms of power and stuff. Obviously you get a little bit better, obviously you get better ray tracing performance out of the 4070 Super. Like there's no taking that away. And it does, you know, punch, you know, I would say it does punch above its weight. It's not like a knockout, you know, it's not like a knockout punch over the 7800 XT, but then you also have a 7900 GRE that is $50 less, which is on par or better than the 4070 Super in a lot of ways, and definitely in rasterization. So that card, see, that this is where you get like into this mess. Like, you're leaving performance and VRAM, like hardware, you're leaving a lot on the table to select that 4070 Super, and paying $50 more than the GRE than you would be doing if you just got the GRE. And I think you would be happier longer. I don't think that you're I don't think you would really be FOMOing as soon if you bought the 7900 GRE. And you know, there's a lot of defense mechanisms. Like right now, we just recently had FSR 3.1 brought out into 5 different games. And even myself out there doing testing, you know, me personally, guys, I was testing it because I was like, hey, I want to see how it looks. And to my surprise, it looks pretty good. But then all the rest of the channels, like every other channel, is like, oh, they're getting into the nitty gritty, bro. They're going down to like single stopped frames. They're looking at, you know, all kinds of like pixelation and stuff. Mostly things that you're not really gonna notice in movement. I mean, there have been some games where stuff is like pretty noticeable, and it is very distracting, you know, with all of these upscalers, period. Everyone that I've used, I've seen weird stuff in DLSS. I've seen weird stuff in FSR. And to me, guys, these well for AMD and Intel, these are bonus features. For Nvidia, you are paying a premium for DLSS, for all of the other stuff that you're getting with Nvidia. You're paying a premium for it, so it had damn well better be better than the free open source stuff that comes with AMD and everything else. People get mad at me. People get mad at me because I call this shit how it is, because this is real money, guys. This is real money that you got to go to work and then you got to spend, and you got to do all this research and all this legwork. And I mean, maybe I am a little bit more simple than a lot of people. One thing I don't like is being lied to. I don't like being misled, and I don't try to mislead my community or anything like that. I really don't. Like, I give you my raw, unfiltered opinions, whether you like them or not, on this channel. And you know, when it comes to something like DLSS and FSR, me personally, guys, I could really care less for either of them. Honestly, I could really care less for either of them. I want to be able to buy a 1440p GPU and play games at 1440p. Native resolution for me has just always been good, but I've found some cool tools on these GPUs that I like to utilize. I like to utilize VSR, or VSR, Virtual Super Resolution. And I like 1440p because I think 1440p gives me that balance that it's sharp enough to like, ooh yeah, that's great, but it's not as expensive to run as like say 4K resolution, where it's like for me guys, it's not that big of a difference. I can definitely deal with like 1440p or even downsampled, or well, downsampled. I run it at 4K and then I downsample to 1440p because to me I just like that extra density and the overall image quality that apparently nobody else on the planet can see. Like apparently I'm the only person that can see just how much better that looks on a 1440p monitor when I'm downsampling it. I do think that people can see, but I really do think that people are just so entrenched in their love for their GPU. And like guys, honestly, I literally have a 4080 Super sitting right there. If it was better than my AMD GPU, if I thought it was better than my AMD GPU, why? Like seriously, why, man? Like I get it, yeah, the AMD, you know, has definitely been good for this channel, but yeah, dude, like every other YouTuber out there literally buys an Nvidia GPU, throws it in their PC, and uses the Nvidia GPU while building their content off of the AMD backs. They do that. I mean, I've literally seen that with my own two eyeballs. It's like, dude, it's almost like right when Nvidia starts giving them free GPUs, that's when like everything kind of just goes out the window anyways. Like I don't know what to believe anymore, man. Like there's so much fakeness on the internet and everything that I really do try to separate myself from it. I do, but you know, like I said, man, I've spent a lot of money on this channel and I need to make some of that back. Like I'm not rich, I need to make some of that dang money back. So I do make some, you know, I do like, not necessarily repeat content. I don't mean to do that, but I do everything impromptu. So sometimes I do touch on the same thing over and over and over again. It's not like I'm doing it on purpose. I'm just doing it to make freaking content to try to get views so that I can pay for the stuff that I've invested into this channel. You guys, I mean, like I get a lot of criticism, and to be completely honest with you guys, I mean, like, yeah, obviously some of it's like deserved, and I'm putting myself on the internet, so I kind of, you know, should deal with that. But I read all of my comments, I listen to every single thing you guys say, but sometimes some of the stuff you guys want me to do, it's just like, okay, man, like I can't spend every waking moment that I have in life on this channel. Like I can't do that. I have a real job that I go to work and I pay all my bills and I have to work, guys. Like this is second fiddle to that and to my family and stuff like that. And I get it, man. Like I'll sit here, I'll play a game, I'll figure out like an idea or something, or I'll have like, man, this 7900 XT has been absolutely incredible the whole time I've had it. I mean, think about it. How many GPUs have I bought in the last year? And this is the only one I've kept the whole time. Literally the whole time. That should literally tell you guys that obviously I'm not just trying to build my channel on AMD playing around. Like I've literally had this GPU for almost a year. Tomorrow is my 1 year anniversary of buying this GPU, my friends, and I still got it. Like I still got it. I still use it. I love this. I think it runs this ultra-wide monitor like very well. Like it's very, very good for this. And I know this video is all over the place. It started off with somebody, you know, basically, you know, trying to like call me out and stuff, and he's part of the community. He watches the videos, he comments a lot, and I do listen to what he has to say, and I would love to have him on the channel to really have this discussion, because I feel like people like right when you watch a YouTube video, you instantly get defensive, especially if you don't necessarily maybe understand what somebody's saying. I can honestly say that I'm not the best at conveying, exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm pretty new to PC. I've only been doing it for a couple of years. There's obviously things that I don't know that maybe other people know, but when they scream it at me, I just shut down. I'm like, whatever, dude. If you're gonna literally sit there in my comment section and try to like scream shit at me, I'm gonna read your comment, I'm gonna heart it, and I'm gonna move on to the next person to see if there's some actual input. That I'm not gonna listen to belligerent people, man. If you want to have a conversation with me, have a conversation with me, but don't yell, don't try to tough guy text me, man. That's so. I immediately just heart and move on, man. Like, I don't have time for that stuff. I have time for people that actually care and want to be a part of it and offer me real constructive criticism. But if it's fanboy shit, I automatically just annoy it. I automatically just, you know, hit the heart button and move on. Like, I don't have time for that. I don't. There are other people out there that deserve my time and attention far more than somebody like angry watching my content and then like writing. Yeah, like, at least be lucky that I do the little heart thing for you. I mean, seriously, guys. I'm human too. I really am human, and I'm just trying to help. I'm literally just trying to help people, you know, save some money. Like, telling them, like, yeah, dude, you can actually. I guess if anything, I'm just saying, hey guys, look, it's safe to actually buy an AMD card. You might actually like it, but dang, man, these Nvidia guys, it's bad, dude. Like, it is bad. Like, I swear, between PlayStation and Nvidia guys, why do you have to be so annoying? Why must it be known that, like, yeah, Nvidia is the best? It is the best, but it is clearly way too damn expensive for everybody. It's not worth the price. Like, seriously, guys, the 4080 Super is not worth paying for over 7900 XT. It's just not. Like, it's really not. Now, I could easily say, yeah, buy a 4070 Super. You know, be reasonable with the VRAM though. I could easily recommend a 4070 Super TI or TI Super. I think the $800 for that card, it's definitely, you know, pretty close to what I got with a 4080 Super. So I would say, yeah, save the couple of $100 if you want close to that range of power. Definitely do that. I think you'll be all right. You'll have the DLSS, you'll have the FSR, or you'll have access to FSR, everything, frame generation, all of that stuff. Definitely buy that card. 16 gigs of VRAM will definitely get you a lot farther than, you know, 12 gigabytes. 4080 Super, man, like, I don't think I could recommend that card unless you like absolutely have money that you just can like waste and spend. Cool, get a 4080 Super if you want to. Better yet, buy a 4090. Everybody keeps telling me to buy a 4090, and I'm like, if I already don't feel like the money that I spent for a 4080 Super was worth it, do you really think that having that extra 20 frames or whatever over and above what I already have, it's probably not going to make a big enough difference to where it's like, gosh, dude, another $800. $800 is a lot of money, man. $700. Yeah, I think it's like $700 more. $700 is a lot of money. That's literally a high-end monitor, you know, a pretty nice high-end monitor. So I don't know, man. Like, I do get a little bit frustrated, you know, with this whole YouTube channel a lot lately. I'm being honest with you guys. And I know there's those people that are just gonna sit there and spam their little rude stuff to me or whatever, and it sucks, dude, because it really just kind of makes you want to, you know, just stop dealing with that side of the people, and those are the ones that are rude. You know, it's like why even try to cover Nvidia products, man? Most of the people that are Nvidia fans are just rude anyways. So like, why should I even give a shit about what they think or what they feel? All the AMD guys, and it's the same with the Xbox guys, man. The Xbox guys and the AMD guys, they're cool, they're chill, they're like, but right when you go to, I mean, seriously, man, if you, with the PlayStation dudes and the Nvidia guys, it's like right when you go to like try to criticize it, because it's not perfect, it's absolutely not perfect. You get shot down, and they're just rude, man. They're absolutely just rude, and it's like, wow, dude, really? Like, what the heck is wrong with you guys, man? I mean, look at Ancient Gameplays, you know, or anybody else, you know. They say what's what about AMD, and you know how the AMD dudes like freaking out, you know. Obviously, you know, AMD has got some ways to go when it comes to like some of their stuff, but man, I don't know. Like, I don't feel bad about AMD. I don't feel like they're trying to rip me off every single time, you know, with like some gimmick or something, you know, like I do with Nvidia. I got a bad taste in my mouth for Nvidia. I do, man. And I mean, that's probably never gonna change. I mean, obviously, you know, obviously, yeah. I don't know if that's ever gonna change. I don't know if that's gonna change. I do, you know, watch Nvidia a little bit closer than I do AMD, and that's because AMD usually surprises me. You know, like, I'm right here, I'm using my monitor, my new monitor, I'm using virtual super resolution, I'm doing all of the stuff that I would do with my AMD GPU, and then I put my Nvidia one in, and boom, like, they cut corners on it, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, man? Are you freaking kidding me? So it's like, right there, instantly, AMD gets another point, you know, another, yeah, I'm so happy. And Nvidia gets another freaking check mark, man. It's like, ooh, Nvidia, you freaking... You know what I mean? And it's like, that shit adds up, guys. Them little things add up, and over time you just start to see, like, you just start to see all these negative things about Nvidia, and you're like, oh, I thought this was supposed to be the best. How come I'm not getting the best experience with the best GPU? Why? Even if I had a 4090, I would still have run into that problem. So it's like, how do I give Nvidia a win, or how do I be like, yeah, dude, Nvidia, when I keep running into stuff like this, you know, like VRAM issues, obviously, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they've done a little bit more this generation to try to assuage that problem, but they're still, like, overcharging you ridiculous amounts of money for the power that you get from Nvidia, and it's like, really, guys? And then you look at, like, what you're getting out of like AMD, you know, you're getting good VRAM budget, you're getting freaking, you know, good power to price ratio, you're able to use, like, all your features, there's just, you get your bonus FSR and all of these other things. How am I supposed to, why would I be mad at AMD, guys? Why would I be mad if there's a little bit of ghosting in FSR 3.1? To me, when I was playing, you know, for Horizon Forbidden West, it looked fine to me, guys. It looked absolutely incredible. I was like, wow, this looks really good. And then, you know, using it on Ratchet and Clank, and I'm testing it in, like, ultra performance mode, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that's not bad at all, you know. And people are like, you know, like, freaking out on me, and it's like, dude, if it's convincing me that it looks okay, that it looks good in, like, ultra performance mode, because that's what we want. We want to be able to lower. So I do. The reason, I'll tell you guys right now, the reason why I test FSR in ultra performance mode, a lot of that does have to do with ray tracing. If ultra performance mode is at least image quality, like, good enough, like, stable, as long as it meets or exceeds, like, what you get with Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and it looks good enough to where I can turn on all the ray tracing and be able to use that at a playable frame rate, that, to me, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, and you know, I think a lot of people would be. If we're being realistic, man, we're talking about PC gaming, where people are literally duct taping stuff together just to get it to run good enough to play something, and you know, and they have the freedom and the ability to do that. Whereas, like, a console, you buy the box and you get what you get. But with PC, there's so many combinations and so many different things that you can do to really build that experience out. So yeah, dude, I will look at stuff as low as ultra performance to see how that runs and to see what that will give me in terms of being able to use the ray tracing and stuff. Because there are some games that Nvidia, obviously, you know, I mean, I want, like, honestly, guys, I want to give Nvidia the benefit of the doubt and be like, all right, yeah, they've got some really cool tech that can push this stuff, but I'm just not seeing significant gains on other games that AMD can run ray tracing just fine. I'm not seeing such a big gap to where it would make me think that, like, there's some sort of hardware in the Nvidia GPUs that can really push that. I mean, if that makes sense to you, like, I see what it does in Alan Wake 2, and I see what it does in Cyberpunk 2077 when you turn on path tracing. And, you know, to be completely honest with you, at 4K on the 4080 Super, I mean, it's playable, and you can use frame generation and all of that, but like if you drop to 1440p, then it definitely becomes more of a realistic experience to play that on a 4080 Super. Whereas with my 7900 XT, I can, whatever you guys want to say, drop it down to 1080p or 480p or whatever and use ultra performance. Yeah, I can play it, and I can use path tracing, and it is like 1080p, and 1080p doesn't look horrible on a 1440p monitor. It actually looks fairly decent. So yeah, I can still play it. Yeah, I can. I mean, actually, I think I had it at 4K ultra performance and was almost getting like 60 frames a second. So I don't know, maybe what was it? I don't know. I put that video out, people were laughing at me, I thought it was funny, and I was like, dude, at least it's playable, and you can literally see the path tracing and stuff because you get the quality. That's the thing about AMD's FSR, man. Like, I don't feel like I lose that image quality because I'm normally, when I'm using FSR, any of that stuff, I'm running at higher resolution, and then I'm downsampling to 1440p, so I'm not losing that image quality that a lot of people are losing. And I would hope that some people would actually try this, you know, because to me, I'm pretty particular when it comes to visuals. Like, I am. I like good stuff, but I'm also willing to accept some blemishes for certain experience, for certain other games. I am. Path tracing, ray tracing, all of that stuff. In some games, like, I like to look at it, but I don't necessarily need it in the gameplay. And Cyberpunk is one of those ones where it's just like, the game's been out so long now that the visuals are really starting to, you know, not really be like, you know, high end anymore, but the ray tracing is pretty high end, but then there's still some, you know, like blurry ray tracing, even with the Nvidia cards, and you're just like, what the heck, man? Like, it just doesn't look all sharp and crisp and clean, and you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's kind of hard to care about it and make a big deal about it, like a lot of people, you know, still want to try to do. And I mean, for like the last game that we had on Nvidia was Alan Wake 2 that like really took advantage of like path tracing and stuff. So yeah, dude, like the games that actually need that are so hit and miss and so few and far between that it really does get kind of hard to recommend something like ray tracing over what AMD can offer, especially when like Unreal Engine 5 does ray tracing and you can run those games pretty well on AMD GPUs or hardware. So I don't know, and it feels like Unreal Engine 5 is going to be the top dog when it comes to, you know, people producing games and, you know, bringing out more ray tracing and stuff like that, and those are, you know, for the most part fairly AMD friendly experiences. So I don't know, man. It's the edge that Nvidia has is usually chipped away by the unrealistic pricing that Nvidia brings for their GPUs. If they would drop all of their GPU prices like $100, you know, a couple $100, you know, for the I mean, like a 4090, if it was like $1399, I would definitely feel a lot more comfortable at like $1,400 for a 4090. But if they would just drop the prices, you know, make the 4080, you know, super $800, just bring everything down a notch where it technically should be, bring them down a notch, I think that my feelings for Nvidia would definitely be different. Like, paying $800 for a 4080 Super would be incredible. Paying $600 for a 4070 Ti Super, that would be incredible. Or paying $500, you know, $550 for a 4070 Super, absolutely incredible. You know, that would be great. And then paying like $300, $250 to $300 for 4060. Those to me seem like fair prices, especially because they're just not a big enough gain when it comes to what you're getting with Nvidia. And I don't know, man, like it doesn't help anybody for people to be super hyperbolic about Nvidia, man. It's good, but I don't think it's night and day better. Like the prices that they ask for over what AMD has on the market, even what I haven't tried Intel, but I will eventually. But what they have on the market right now, my friends, compared to AMD, like, I would recommend any mid-range AMD card over what Nvidia's mid-range are at those prices. It's just not worth it. and recommending a 4080 Super over a 7900 XT, Oh man, I don't know. It depends. That depends more on your screen resolution. If you're rocking 1440p, absolutely not. I could not recommend a 4080 Super. If you're rocking 4K, that would be a lot harder. That would be a lot harder recommendation, but I kind of maybe would kind of nudge toward 4080 Super for that one. I mean, obviously, you know, I don't have access to a 7900 XTX, so I'm not going to make that call, but I do. I don't know, man. 24 gigs of VRAM versus 16. Yeah, maybe I would say get the AMD card. I feel like you'll get a better bang for your buck, but I don't know. I like my 4080 Super. I just can't recommend it, you know, for I don't know. I guess I can recommend it. I can't. You could go either way. It does speed up my when I'm rendering out my my content and stuff, when I'm using my editor and stuff, it does speed that up. So if you're using it for that kind of stuff too, yeah, maybe I can easily recommend that, because that is pretty fast. But I would have to see how fast 7900 XTX is, because my 7900 XT is pretty fast too. Like it's just a few minutes slower than what the 4080 Super is doing. So yeah, maybe those are on par. Maybe, at least for my software, maybe those are on par. So I don't know, guys. This has been a long video. There's a lot of information here. I hope that this can kind of help some of you guys. I know that there's just going to be people that are going to push back no matter what. And you know what, guys? At the end of the day, it's probably just better for me to just ignore you guys instead of respond, because I mean, I look at you as humans. I do. I do, and I do care about, you know, what you guys say. I do, to a certain extent, think about, you know, care about how you feel about me. I do. I mean, I'm human. Like I do kind of care, because I feel like, I don't know, man. I've always just kind of been a people person. I've always kind of cared about humanity and stuff like that. I always have, and you know, I mean, that's probably why I've been able to go 3 years on YouTube without becoming completely evil and, you know, like just doing like evil stuff. And when I stop making these types of videos, that's probably when you should start worrying about if I care or not. When I stop making these kind of videos, that's when you know that something is, yeah, that something's done for. So all right, my friends, if you guys like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. Spratty, if you want to come on the channel and discuss this with me, brother, I am more than open to doing that. Have you on here, let people, you know, see who you are, and, you know, kind of get a taste of how you're feeling about things. And dude, I'm not set in stone. That's the thing. Like, I'm not set in stone. Like, every time I buy a new product, it has the potential to completely change my whole outlook on the PC gaming space. In terms of like Nvidia and AMD this generation, I think it's a toss-up. To be completely honest with you guys, I think that you could buy either one and be happy. Period. And that's my stance on it. As far as FSR 3.1 and DLSS 3.7 go, I really don't care. Honestly, guys, I personally like virtual super resolution significantly more than I like either one of those two upscalers. But when I mean, honestly, the best thing to do is use those upscalers after using virtual super resolution and trying it. Try this. If you've got a 1440p monitor, go as high as you can with your resolution, and then run it at the lowest quality performance upscaler you can, either on DLSS or FSR or anything, and tell me when you're looking at that on your 4K screen, and be honest, if you can really see a significant drop in overall quality. Like, if you're on a 1440p monitor, it's not going to work as well on 4K unless you go all the way to 8K, and you're going to need a powerful GPU for that. But if you can at least get to like 4K, maybe even 5K, then downsample back to 1440p with ultra performance, come back and tell me if you can see shimmering, or if you can see ghosting, or if you can see any of these things that are apparent and happen on any of these upscalers. Come back and let me know, guys, because I'm not crazy, dude. I can't see this stuff, but I guess I could stop. I guess I could run through those videos on my editing software and check them frame by frame. That's the only way I was able to really catch what's going on with Horizon Forbidden West, because I wasn't seeing it. When I did put it on the Nvidia GPU, and I was doing that, and because that one was only letting me run it at like 3440 by 1440p, and I could like see like that ghosting and stuff a lot more than I could see what I couldn't see it on the AMD GPU, and that was probably just because I was running it at a higher resolution. So I will go back and I'll test that, and I'll make a video at 3440 by 1440p, and we'll see if the image quality looks closer to what I was getting with that Nvidia GPU, because I wasn't seeing that. But yeah, I know I make these videos without even really checking stuff out, because I don't. Yeah, dude, I'm not a freaking benchmarker, but I'm just here to tell you that, like, yeah, dude, like FSR 3.1 does not look bad. It is improved over the last one. Is it better than DLSS? No, but it is good enough to make you worry. That, like, I think it's good enough for the DLSS guys to start worrying, like, wait a minute, dude, we're paying a lot of money for DLSS, and that's getting pretty damn good. Yeah, that's all I've said. That's all I've said. Gosh, people get very, 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 very intense when it comes to PC and gaming and all of that stuff. I do too. It's funny, but yes, if you guys, if you want to come on the channel, Spready, and talk to me, I will definitely make that a possibility for you. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.